Good morning, Year 4. Welcome to Maths this morning on this Wednesday morning. Hopefully the weather's good where you are, and hopefully that you're all still staying safe in your families. We're going to start this morning with our mental oral warm-up. You've got 5 questions as per usual. They're slightly different from yesterday. 2 of them will be written method questions. 3 of them will be mental oral questions. Try and get as close to 5 minutes as you possibly can. And press pause while you're working, and then when you're ready to hear me talk about the answers, press play. Okay, the first question this morning, we're going to go straight into one of our written questions, and it's going to be 43 times 3. Method 1, nice and simple, short multiplication, column method. First thing you've got to do is make sure you've lined up your columns properly. And then we're going to start with the ones. So 3 times 3 would be 9. And then 3 times 4 would be 12. So our answer, nice and simply, is 129. Second method, I would be partitioning. As you all know, I do enjoy partitioning. I would take the 43 and partition it into 40 and 3. And then I would multiply both sides by 3. So 40 times 3 would be 120. And then 3 times 3 would be 9. 120 plus 9 then would be 129. Okay, our next question this morning, 28 times 1. Okay, now this is an absolute gift of a question. You can't get this question wrong if you think really carefully about it. 28 times 1. Well, any number that is multiplied by 1 will always stay the same. So 28 times 1 is the same as saying 28 lots of 1. So 28 times 1 is 28. Okay, next question, 780 divided by 100. Well, this is a place value question. This takes us all the way back to September, really. And we said that when we were thinking about this in September, that when you divide a number by 100, you have to move it 2 decimal places to the right. Now, if you remember back to our teaching at the beginning of the year, when we said we're dividing by 100, and I said you had to move it 2 places to the right, we know it's 2 places just simply by looking at the number. There are 2 zeros, therefore we move the number 2 places to the right. Now I've set up a little grid down here, 780. If we're going to divide that by 100, we will move each digit 2 places to the right. So the 7 moves into the units column there. The tens, the 8, moves 1, 2, it goes into the tenths column, and the 0 moves, the placeholding 0 moves into the hundredths column. So our number ends up as 7.8, or if you put 7.80, that will be perfectly fine as well. Okay, our next question is one of these fraction questions that have different denominators. Okay, so we've got 3/5 plus 4/15. So I've set up 2 fraction bars for you here, one with 15ths and one with fifths. Now you can see at the top here I've got 4/15 that I've marked on for you, nice and simply. And I've also got 3/5 here, 1, 2, 3. And we can see that 3/5 would be the same as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9/15. So I'm going to turn both of these numbers into 15ths. So you can see at the bottom here, I've turned the 3/5 into 15ths, and I'm adding 4/5 to it. Okay. Okay, forget what I've just said. I am not adding 4/5 to it, I'm adding 4/15 to it. It's a typing error. Okay, so now that we've turned both fractions into 15ths, okay, you can add them together nicely. Remember, our denominator will always stay the same. So 15ths at the bottom there, and then the numerator, we add that together. So 9 plus 4 would be 13/15. Okay, so nice and simple question. Just turn them to fractions that have the same denominator, and you cannot go wrong. Okay, so our final written question this morning is one of those mystery number questions. So mystery number plus 8,432 equals 9,321. Well, I've put here 3 steps. The first thing I'm going to do is invert the operation. So I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to turn it on its head. Turn it from addition to subtraction, because that's what the inverse of addition is. It's the opposite. And I'm going to, if I invert the equation, it becomes 9,321. Take away the known fact, 8,432, and that should leave us with our mystery number. And then the final step is to calculate. So I'm going to set it up as a column subtraction. We might need to, as you can see here, we will need to use some exchanging. So 1 take away 2, can't do it. So I need to exchange from the other column, the 10. That makes this number 11. 11 take 2 is 9. Now I was left with 1 take away 3, still can't do it. So I will need to exchange from the next column, which makes this number then 11. 11 take away 3 would be 8. I've now got 2 take away 4, can't do it. So I will need to exchange 1 from this column here, which means that we have 12 here. 12 take away 4 would be 8. And then finally on the end, 8 take away 8 would be 0. So our answer would be 889. Okay, so our learning intention this morning is to be able to make symmetrical figures. Okay, so again, I've got some star words for us this morning. We're going to use fold, okay, because we might be needing to fold bits of paper this morning. We've got symmetrical, okay, mirror image, making sure that it, whether a shape is symmetrical or not. Reflect, because that's an important word when we're dealing with symmetry. And at the top here, I've got rather than a star word, I've got a phrase here, line of symmetry. That's going to be really important this morning as well. Okay, our in focus question this morning, this young man puts some paint on a square piece of paper. He folds the paper along one of the lines of symmetry. What does the paper look like afterwards? First of all, then, I want you to press pause in a moment, and I want you to think about what this might need. What might how might you could use some of the knowledge that you've gained in the last couple of days to help you with this? And what do you need to know to answer the question? So press pause now and press play when you're ready. Okay, I think what's really important here, I'm hoping you're agreeing with me, the statement there says he folds the paper along one of the lines of symmetry. What does the paper look like afterwards? Well, the key piece of information I think we need to answer this question will be, you need to know where the line of symmetry is. Is it a vertical line of symmetry? Is it a horizontal line of symmetry? Is it a diagonal line of symmetry? You can't really answer this question until you're given the line of symmetry. So this is the method that he's going to use. Okay, so we're going to put he's going to put some paint somewhere on the piece of paper. He's then going to fold along the line of symmetry. Here you can see that we folded along the horizontal line of symmetry. And then finally you'll open it back up just to have a look at what the paper might look like. So let's learn. What if he folds it this way? So we've got the splodge of paint in the corner up here, and he's going to fold along this line of symmetry here, the horizontal line of symmetry. What will the reflected shape look like? Where will the reflection of that, paint be? Press pause now and press play when you're ready to hear me talk about it. Okay, in this question here, really we're looking at this splodge of paint here. If we were to reflect it, it would be somewhere down here. It would be equidistant. It would have to be the same distance away from the mirror line. And if I show you what that looks like, you can see that that's clearly the case. It is a reflection. It looks exactly the same as the shape up there. It is exactly the same distance away from the mirror line or the fold line. That is what it looks like if it's reflected in a horizontal line of symmetry. But what about if he folds it along the vertical line of symmetry? What's that shape going to look like now? So you can see where the splodge is. What's it going to look like afterwards? Press pause now and press play when you're ready to continue. Okay, well, again, it's going to be reflected. It's not going to be reflected down here this time because the fold line is vertical. It's going to be over here somewhere. And if we look at the shape reflected, you can see again, it is exactly the same amount of distance away from the mirror line. Now this one's slightly different again. This one is a diagonal mirror line here from corner to corner. Where's the paint splash going to be when the paper's folded this time? Press pause while you're looking and press play when you're ready. Okay, so we know now it's not going to be down here because that would be the horizontal mirror line. It's not going to be across here because that would be the vertical mirror line. This one is going to be reflected. If we fold the shape along this line here, it's going to be down here somewhere. So if we look at this, if I reveal it, you can see this is an exact copy reflected in that mirror line there. Okay, now it's your turn. I want you to here, look at this shape here. The triangle is wet paint. What we want you to do is if this shape here was going to be reflected in on this piece of paper to create this shape here, where would the mirror line be? Where would the fold line be to be able to produce this image down here? This is wet paint. You're going to fold the paper in some way. Where is the mirror line going to be? Press pause while you're thinking about it and press play when you're ready. Okay, so if I was to take this line here, pretty much you're looking at the reflection line being there. And we can see exactly where it goes here. Because if you remember what I said, and I'm probably not quite as accurate as I'd like to be, the gap between the mirror line should be the same. Between the triangle and the line should be the same on both of these shapes. That then will be an exact copy. Okay, you've got 3 more to have a go at here. Can you think where the dotted line of the symmetry might go? Where might it be to make these shapes correct? So this one here is going to come and turn to this one. This one is going to go to this one. And this one is going to go to this one. You've got to put a dotted line where you think those shapes might, where you think it will go to make that reflection correct. Press pause while you're doing it. Press play when you're ready to hear me talk about it. Okay, we'll look at the first shape up here first. And I'm going to have to try and move this shape up to here. Okay, so you can see that the first shape here, the mirror line is diagonal, and there's an exact reflection across that mirror line. This one's not quite so easy. There you go. Oh, no, not quite. There we go. So you can see this shape here, okay, that the mirror line is the opposite diagonal. And you can see that it looks the same. The shape clearly for both of these, the shape is looking the same on both sides of the mirror line. Now this bottom one is a bit trickier because the shape actually looks the same. How might that be? Well, the mirror line, it's a bit of a red herring there. The mirror line on the right-hand side will move, it has to be on the far edge here. And when you reflect that over, you can see quite clearly that it is, when it's folded over, that it's gone across and it is exactly the same shape on the other page. The distance between there is the same as the distance here. So if you're reflecting it over, that's what you would get. That's a bit of a trick question. Okay, now it's time for your independent learning. What I'd like you to do is complete worksheet 8 on pages 141 to 142 of your workbook. Press pause when you're working and press play when you're ready to come back to me for the plenary question. Okay, welcome back. Hope everything went all right with the independent task. Now for our plenary today, I've got something for you to think about. On the shape here, the young lady there is saying, explain why it's possible to make this shape by adding in a a dotted mirror line, but not this shape. So I want you to have a little think about this. Where might the dotted line be placed to show the line of reflection, and why can't it work down here? Press pause while you're thinking and press play when you're ready to carry on. Okay, so what I've got here, I've got a couple of dotted lines set up. If I'm looking at this shape up here, I know that if I put my dotted line in the right place here, you can see that that is a mirror image. The square, whichever way round you have it, will look the same when you reflect it in this horizontal line. But the triangle is a bit of a problem. Okay, it looks slightly different. Now, she has not reflected this shape properly. She's not drawn this shape as a reflected shape. She's almost just moved the shape down. And that's something we'll be coming to in a couple of weeks' time. So she's not reflected it. And if you were not sure about that and you want to see what it should look like, because this triangle really should be upside down, then find yourself a piece of paper, some paint, and draw yourself or paint yourself on a triangle, and then try folding it over and see what happens to the shape. Okay, I hope you've had a good lesson. I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Please remember to stay safe, and we'll see you soon.